How do I know if it's recording? It says recording.
That's a good sign.
Yes, that's a good sign. This is the Bologna Ragazzi Award 2019 Jurors Comments. Take 1.
Go.
Congratulations, we just finished a lot of work. So I want to capture some of the key ideas before they float out of our minds. How do you feel about the winners this year?
I'm really impressed with how far the AR market has come on, the new innovations have come on in the last year. So last year we had a couple of good AR titles that came out, but this year I feel like we've really stepped up. So Wonderscope, which was the winner, and Ghostmatic, I think, are both take AR to a new level.
Yes.
Wonderscope uses voice recognition as well in a really valuable way to actually add to the story and bring the reader in. And Ghostmatic actually manages to integrate a book with a digital experience in a way that actually seems to work.
We also saw our first ever curated collection of books, a bookstore that you didn't actually have to have the physical book. And it was almost as if there's a Dorling Kindersley encyclopedia on the table using AR kit. We saw Beatrix Potter for the first time in AR. So yeah, definitely in the last 12 months there's been a nice resurgence in application of AR in delightful ways.
Yeah, and Bayam was particularly consistent in the quality of contents that they had in their library rather than other platforms. So
we're really excited to see some of the past winners from the prize, some familiar friends, and they're back for sale, revived.
And the important thing is that some big players are starting to collect previous productions in libraries that have a subscription model that hopefully is viable.
Yeah.
Now I want to go to the bad news. We noticed that if you weren't online, stuff wouldn't work. And so we naturally questioned, why do you have to be online? And obviously, the publishers are collecting information, and sometimes the apps won't load or run before they're online. And we also ran into some practice that we would label as unethical. I think one of the most dramatic was one that almost won, and that was the birdcage. We all wanted to give it a prize, but when we started it up, you had to watch an advertisement, and the more we got into it, it's like, oh my gosh, this is just an ad delivery system, which was too bad.
Yeah, too bad, because it's a really nice app.
And on the other hand, there was the one that was pushing notifications, like multiple notifications that were encouraging the child to go back into the app. And it's okay occasionally to have the odd notification, but this very much was playing on their emotions and saying...
It's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame because it's Hilda. It's a very popular character that went from books into cartoons. They have a series on Netflix.
Didn't you call it emotional bribery?
Emotional bribery, yeah.
Emotional bribery or emotional blackmail. It's very important that publishers understand that children are a special audience. As Fred Rogers said, it's a sacred space. When you design something for a child, they are vulnerable, and you need to treat them and respect it. There's also some nudginess. Dr. Panda, some beloved brands that sort of have gone, not by their choice probably, but they show things, you touch them, and all of a sudden you got an app store icon, and they should show the padlock up front. But I called it nudgy. It's like, hey, buy this. It's like, no need for that. Also, we had some new platforms that we never encountered. We had an HTC Vive entry. We also had an Amazon Echo entry that we listened to.
But the Vive, I think there are some really exciting things, particularly in the science category coming out of virtual reality. It would be nice to have more entries and to have a whole load of ones we can compare on that front. And obviously one of our winners is actually a console experience, but it also works on Steam without any extra special equipment. So we were able to properly assess that and able to give it a prize because it's really exceptional.
So it's important to note that this jury actually tests products. Everything that was submitted we looked at and considered, and So there are some
There were
stuff.
some titles I would have liked to review, but, well, they weren't here.
Yeah. And we also, there was one where we needed a card or a book, and
Yeah.
you know, if there's a missing link, we can't get to it. But in general, we were able to look at everything and feel that we could see, okay, these things deserve to win. So
Yeah. And Montessori Preschool we haven't mentioned, which is one of the other winners, which I think is one of those ones that's been, a lot of the content has been around for a few years now, but some of it is new, and it is just the most exceptional preschool app that's all one publisher. So unlike the other IM collector, it is a single publisher for the whole collection. And everything that's in there is good quality. It covers the whole early years curriculum. It's a beautiful app that covers, and it says it's early years, but actually it goes up into the beginning of school. And we just felt with new content this year, it gave us a chance to look at it again. And it's just a lovely app.
It's very rich.
It's really, really good.
I would say that publishers are actually trying to make money out of what they have done earlier on. And the best innovation comes out of new technologies such as AR, VR, or audio recognition. So I think otherwise the formats come back. So we're
Yes, that's
seeing a lot
true.
of like the dollhouse.
Yeah, the dollhouse, virtual dollhouse concepts.
We've seen nice expansions of that.
So let's talk about that dollhouse play.
Well, I would say it started with Playhouse.
Yes.
Playhome back in, I mean, that's 2000.
I would
My
say it
Playhome?
actually started
My
when kids
Playhome.
started playing with dolls.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff. And then Toka took it to a whole new level
Toka
visually.
took it up, yeah.
Took it to a new level, both graphically and getting it out there commercially.
But this year we saw 3 to 4 titles that took the interactions up a notch.
Yeah.
It's not just drag and drop and leave it there. It's like you take the chainsaw and pull it on the tree, and the tree falls down. Then you take the logs and put them in the fire pit, and they catch on fire. And yeah, so you're hearing Fita World. I passed our illustrators. She
Yeah.
thought it was okay.
But it's putting that wood on the fire, isn't it? Can you put that wood on that fire? Oh no, it's not that. It's just that fire.
And you can go. And
You can go to the loo, which is obviously the most
which
important
is our best
feature.
part.
Always
There
important.
you go.
Yeah, and so this was great.
Yeah, what I think I like about Vita is that it's not obvious. I mean, the narrative are not that obvious.
Yeah, you can build your own
They have
story.
a humor in
Yeah.
it too.
Another app that we thought was cool was Lexi's World,
Lexi's World.
Lex's World?
that lets you actually
Oh,
construct your own narrative. This language is, tricky stuff, and understanding how squiggles make it sounds is really weird. So how would you use this technology to help a child make those connections? And this actually, from a pedagogical point of view, was really exciting. Sylvia's doing this sideways, which she can say, but as you can see, as you type, you actually are constructing rebus-like icons in this world. And you can, I don't know, there's probably like 30 or 40 at least things, including the seasons and times, which is kind of cool.
You can ride the horse too.
Yeah, right. We also really like, I think Mixer Piece was cool because it takes pieces of real art, classic artwork.
Like this one.
Yeah, and you can actually do a long touch on it, and you can see the context from which it was cut. And we love authenticity. We love it when you can put the highest quality art of the world in front of a child's curious fingers.
Caravaggio.
Caravaggio. Yeah. Which is amazing, isn't it? To be able to look at, construct your own picture out of works of art. Isn't that incredible?
And
Thing
when,
to be able to do as a child.
you take them into an art museum, it'll have some meaning. It'll say, "That's that hand I
I
played
saw
with."
that, and I can make a picture out of it.
So
You can
really nice.
really play.
Yeah.
And the whole interface worked. So there was a lot of good news this year, and I think we are leaving today feeling very good about our choices.
I do. I think they were pretty clear.
Yeah.
And congratulations to the winners. I think we can have a toast. And
Yeah.
Okay.
So to the winners.